Assalamu alaikum guys, and welcome to Daryeel kitchen, delicious food made simple. In today's recipe I'm going to share with you how to make this delicious Somali rice. This rice is very easy to make and the ingredients are simple. So the first thing is I'm going to show you the spices that we're using today. I have some vegetable seasoning there, little bit of whole spices, some black pepper, salt, turmeric, some cumin powder and ground coriander. I was out of fresh coriander, so I'm using that one today. And then we also need some fresh onions, chopped, some garlic that I've grated, and some ginger. And we also have some oil, and this is just sunflower oil. 2 cups of basmati rice that I have washed and just let it sit in the water for a couple of about 10-20 minutes. And that's all done. So the first step what we're going to do is using a large pan, put some oil in, and then we're going to add our onions, the garlic and the ginger, and we're going to saute this for about good 3 to 4 minutes, and try and cook this over low to medium heat. One of the important tips I would like to share with you is whenever making any rice or any Somali rice especially, try and cook the onions and the garlic on a low to medium heat. The reason for this is if you increase the heat to a high level, what will happen straight away is your onions will cook, and then you put the spices in, the spices will burn, and then there will be no flavor in the rice. So cooking this on a low medium heat, you can see the onions are slowly taking a bit of color, and that's very important. And also when you add garlic in there, you don't want to burn the garlic. So now we're going to add all of the spices in, and then just try and put everything in. I like to use the whole spices, it just adds extra bit of flavor. At this stage we're going to add all of our spices. If you have some cinnamon sticks, you can add 1 stick in there. It just adds more flavor into your rice. And then we're going to cook all of this another 2 minutes or so, and then make sure your rice is all washed and ready, drained, and then we're going to add our rice in here. Once we add the rice, we are going to mix everything and let this cook now for about 3 to 4 minutes. And this is just to allow the little bit of water that's in there just to reduce it down, and then you just keep mixing everything. And make sure at this stage you have your either hot water ready, or if you're using a broth, meat broth, chicken broth, make sure that's all ready as well. As you can hear, the rice is bristling and all the water has reduced. So at this stage you will add your meat broth or hot water. After that, mix the rice and place the lid on and cook the rice for 10 minutes on high heat. And after 10 minutes you want to reduce the heat down to very low. Place the lid on again, place the lid on, and then leave the rice for another 10 minutes. So in total the rice will cook about 20 to 25 minutes maximum. And finally I'm going to show you a special touch that you can add to your rice to make it from basic to a very high end. And this is simply adding food coloring, and I chose to add some orange food coloring to the rice today, and I'm also going to add some green. All you need is about a teaspoon of food coloring, and then you add a little bit of water, mix everything, and that's it. It's all done. And I like adding 2 different colors. It just becomes now 3 because some section of the rice is white, and you have the orange, the green. The last thing we're going to add our rice before serving is some raisins. And some of you might think this is very bizarre, adding sweet to a savory dish. But as Somalis, we like to mix our food with some sweetness and also some chili on the side. The rice is all done, guys, and I hope you guys are enjoying this recipe. This rice is very versatile. You can serve with chicken, you can serve with meat or chicken steak. I mean, you know, there's the toppings. In terms of the toppings, there's so many things that you can serve with. In today's one, I'm going to be serving with some meat and some fried chips. Just a normal chips, nothing complicated whatsoever. And I like to also fry some onions and some peppers and just put that on top. In typical, you can also serve with some chicken drumsticks that you have baked in the oven. There's so many things that you can serve with, but this is the basic rice and it comes handy. It's something that is really important to know. If you fancy rice, if you have some guests coming over, it's very simple and it should not be complicated at all. I hope you guys have enjoyed this recipe, and you'll be sharing this with your friends and family. If you have other recipes that you'd like me to share with you, let me know in the description box below. And this is just simple. The chips that I'm frying today is just normal frozen chips. I'm going to fry the chips and then also fry the onions. And after I've done that, that's going to be basic toppings of the rice. If, however, you prefer to do fresh potatoes, you can just peel some potatoes, cut, and then fry them. But I like to show you guys that, you know, cooking food should not be complicated. Especially at these times that we're in, you can do food with anything that you have to your hands. You don't need to go and buy specific ingredient just because you're out of what I have. So if you don't have fresh potatoes, you can just fry normal frozen potatoes, and all these extra touches are not necessary at all. If you know the basic recipe, you can do whatever you want with it. And this is essentially what the real kitchen is about. I like to share with you simple food, nothing complicated, something that you can do for your family that's not expensive, that's not complicated whatsoever. And finally, I fried the chips already, and I fried the onions, and this just adds a little bit of touch of your rice just becomes, like I was saying, something from basic to another level. And for the meat, what I do is I put some water in a pan, add the meat pieces, and then once the broth is what I use for the rice, and the meat pieces, what I do is add in a pan, add a little bit of olive oil or any oil that you have to your hands, and then add some black pepper, some salt, any other spices that you have, and then add the fried chips and also the fried onions and peppers, and that's the topping done. Very easy, very simple to make, and I'm sure you guys will try this with your family and friends. Thank you again, guys, and if you have any questions, don't forget to write them down for me. And also don't forget to press that like button and subscribe, and also press that notification button so you can see whenever I post.